Hello, hello, hello. How we doing tonight, guys? Well, tonight, early evening, this evening. Usually, we do those at night. Well, at night, late, we'll say. Weekly outlook's a little bit different. So, how we feeling, guys? And yes, Perez, I am in a happy mood, so it's time for some happy music instead of just some dead music as we tend to see. Kind of bullish feeling. All right, all right. Well, we'll look at it in a second, right? You guys know this. See a few new faces actually. So welcome. Nice to see you in here, Fortune. But nothing special, right? Where in February, I've said it before, it is a rough one for me. Has been and always will be probably, right? In terms of data, right? We did our monthly outlook with statistical data. We were meant to be seeing a low form somewhere during the last week. We had something on Wednesday, but this is not something I can trust for a long time. Bro is handsome. Appreciate that, brother. Just been putting my camera on for what, a week now? I mean, we have to. We have to. Have to bring some extra degree of transparency, you know? I'm a human too, more than just a voice, you know? But still getting used to it. So if you guys see some lag, if you guys see some stuff, do let me know. I've been trying to figure something out because my PC is not the issue. I have an absolute monster, but I need to figure out some settings with OBS and stuff. Rounding bottom at the daily looks kind of bulla. Wow. This to me is ugly. When I see this, I see inducement. I see a very high probability of us reaching for this level. Now, sometime soon, we don't have to, right? I know you guys hate price action patterns. I don't use them. Doesn't mean I hate them, right? I've said this multiple times before. Everything works as long as you're utilizing it in a specific way. So find out when or how your concepts that you like work and just trade that. Cup and handle, I would love to understand what you're talking about, Perez, but I have no clue. Maybe you'll have to show me someday. For myself, I'm just seeing continuations. Yes, we took out an important level on NASDAQ, right? Sorry about that, guys. We talked about it last week. We went in depth about how I wanted to see us interact, and we closed aggressively above. This tells me one thing, we're just going to keep expanding. Now, of course, I'm going to have some retracement objectives. Looking at ES, I already said it also, all of these highs are a huge objective for me. So even though there is SMT at the highs, right? And SMT on the daily time frame is very important. But what do I always tell you guys? Well, actually, the SMT is not this way. It would be this way. Apologize for that. I always tell you guys one thing. When there's SMT on both sides of the range, it's because we're consolidating. Is there SMT on both sides of the range? Yes. Right? Let me find it. Actually, there it is. I'm always clearing out my drawing week over week and end up regretting it. But we have SMT on both sides of the range. What does this tell us? That we are fucked. No, that's a nice way of saying we're consolidating on the daily. Right? It's February. It is to be expected, but still, it doesn't mean it brings pleasure, right? For myself, at least, trading has been a little bit more rough recently. Doesn't mean we don't have any high probability setups. It just means we have less, right? Talking specifically about the Rise model. So what do I expect? Well, continued upside. I'm going to be framing intraday frameworks, right? I'm going to be looking for that London raid. I'm going to be looking at my previous PM range. I'm going to be trading a lot of lunch raids. And I'm going to be trading gaps. So new day opening gap, regular trading hours gap. We have a lot of data and Rise statistics. That's what I'm going to utilize because those are my high probability frameworks when we don't see expansion on the daily. And yes, of course, you can look at last week from Wednesday to Friday, beautiful price action, right? Straight to the point, bullish, bullish, bullish. But when you look at the 1 minute data from it, right, the 1 minute candles, it's not the best in terms of my specific model. Now, as per retracement objectives, right, because every single week, I always tell you guys, I don't predict price. I draw up my levels and I know how I want to interact at those specific levels. Right now, I want to see us go lower. I want to see a nice, very, very nice open into a low, especially with the news we have. And just in case you did not follow up on this week's announcement, let me bring them on our chart here. So we have a very slow start with the bank holiday on Monday, followed by Trump speaking, which, as we know, is a little crazy. When do you start ignoring gaps? I'll tell you in a second. But yeah, with Trump speaking on Tuesday, and then you have FOMC meeting minutes, which, as you guys know, I don't even regard this as a news. I don't care that they're meeting, right? They're meeting, they're releasing some data, not important to me at all. And of course, all based on data as well. For me, I'm really going to be focused on that Thursday and Friday. So best case scenario, I see a reversal either late Wednesday or early Thursday, and then I can trade some longs. Now, what is most likely to happen, right? This is what I want to see. This is how I will engage with this level, which is just an old new week opening gap, right? So not the one from last week, which we do have right here, which is also a large one, but I'm going to be focused on the top quarter of that, the top quadrant, I guess, not exactly a quarter, but just a nice way of seeing it. But what is most likely to happen, just to get really quick into it, is we'll see consolidation, right? With the news layout we have, we expect consolidation. And if we break the high of that consolidation, and then Thursday I have a high probability short setup, I will be very confident in shorting to these areas. And if we break the low of that consolidation, and then Thursday we have a high probability long setup, I will be very confident in longing that area. So it really is going to depend on what we see during the week. And that's why on weeks like those, right, where I am personally not going to be trading until Thursday, I'm just not interested in the price action that we'll see until then. I like to do these midweek analysis, right? And I haven't done one in a while, so we're due. So Wednesday night, we're going to see us at 8:30 p.m., just like any price action review time. And yes, I will be adding the event right after this call. Or you know what? Let's actually do it live, so that I can't back out on you guys. So midweek analysis will be at 8:30. And once again, that's all Eastern time. So that's New York Standard Time. Midweek analysis, I'll drop the link in chat just if you guys want to click on interested so you're notified when we start. But we're definitely going to be doing a midweek analysis. And if you guys don't know, I think we have 3 or 4 on our channel. On my channel on YouTube that are recorded, and we're at 100% accuracy on it. I've been going back into my weekly outlooks to actually have an idea of how consistent I am, because I know I'm consistent, but then how can I add a value to it, right? How can I say, well, 70% of the time I'm right about what the week does, right? So I'm starting to bring some values into it, and I'll have a nice thread for all of you guys. Now, to answer your question for us, now that I'm done with this this little profiling, I never ignore gaps, but I don't always expect us to return to them. So you can ask any of my students, I tell them all the same thing about new week opening gaps and new day opening gaps. They are huge fucking magnets. That's it. Right? I want to see balance in those areas, but they are huge magnets. Now, here, this is not what I call a gap. I like to give credit where credit is due, of course, ICT. And in this case, this is a liquidity void. This is an area where there is nothing. There are no wicks. It's not a gap in closure and opens of a candle. It is a full gap. And now we had bullish price closures through it and bearish price closes through it, which makes it balanced. Now, this was our objective last week, and of course, we just kept gravitating back and forth. But once these areas are balanced, we can now expand away from said gap. So just going back to what you said, this is what I would frame as ignoring the gap, which would mean just not considering it a magnet for a certain period of time, right? When we have an objective, this is balanced, then we can keep going. But these are areas where price will tend to be drawn to consistently over time, right? There are multiple new week opening gap indicators. I actually have one listed in official links. Now that I'm making my own indicators, I might want to do one of those for sure, but there is one linked. I mean, no, there isn't. I guess I already removed it. Okay, well, here, I'll show you guys. I won't discriminate. So I used the one from Kryptonite. So this one right here. Very simple one. Yes, I'm going to make my own version of it so that it has everything that I personally want to, but I always use the last 3 new week opening gaps. And this is set to 4 by default because I also want to see this week and 3 old ones. And you can also, I believe, extend them. Yes, exactly. These are just areas where price will gravitate to. Now, of course, in consolidation, you're always going to see this. But if we look at the past, this is just an area that you could consistently target. We expand it away, you can target towards it. Once we're towards it, you can frame expansions away. Now, you open one here, we trade back into it. And then you trade back into it. Now, is this the best place to target? No, there are a bunch of other reasons. There are a bunch of other logics that I can use to explain this move and a better targeting I have, but it adds confluence to have that gap near it because, as I said, I use them as a big fucking magnets. That simple. Used to have all the fair value gap and gap indicators. I do much better and connected to price better when I draw it myself. Of course, right? It makes you notice them. You're not really going to attribute a lot of value if you have 50 rectangles on your chart. But if you have only one that you drew yourself and you know that's the one you're ready to fire on, right? That's the one you're ready to execute with, then that's a different story. ICT is a way to explain or to narrate what is going on with price, and then you have to actually trade it yourself. That's what I like about ICT. It is a language, and once you learn that language, you can then create frameworks of high consistency, if that makes any sense. So yeah, just to get back into it, right? We're at an outlook and I'm already going teacher mode, but I'm really just looking for upside. But depending on what we see during that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and yes, I am a trader who does not trade for 3 days in a row of the markets being open. It is not of interest to me. It is too low probability. And for me, I've already said it to you guys multiple times, I like consistency over return. So I am more than happy to leave out a few trades to have my consistency, my win rate, be higher. And that also saves 3 days not in front of charts. And I'm not going to lie to you, I'm looking outside my window right now and I just want to go outside. We've had 2 snowstorms in 3 days. Skiing is going to be amazing. So I'm going to enjoy that profitable trader lifestyle. Canadian gangster better size up on Thursday. Always. You know, you come in full size. I'm just half risk the whole of February, but my risk got quite big last year. I had quite a nice run up. So now I just have to consolidate and make sure I stay safe in these markets, right? We're risk managers first, always. What's your trading setup? How many monitors and time frames do you look at? So, well, time frames, I mean, you have all of them pretty much here. But I don't use all of them. I very rarely go down to 15 and 30 seconds, and I only open monthly, 3-month, and 6-month once or twice a year, perhaps sometimes a little more. I want to try and use them monthly a little bit more, right? We're starting to do these monthly statistical outlooks in the Discord, so definitely we'll start using that more. Weekly as well, I actually don't open it too much. And as per my layout, well, I'll show you my trading layout. Was inspired by a layout someone sent me, actually. I just customized a few things, and it is one chart. So I have an ultra wide, and here, if I go full screen, you guys will probably see that it has extended quite a bit. Basically, I keep it to a nice format so that it is 1080p, right? HD. But this is my trading layout. So I have a few indicators. I do need to update the indicators that I use. And of course, I haven't cleaned up my charts. The journal has not been made yet. That is something I didn't want to show you guys, but I mean, gotta do my journal. But yes, in this case, I have my execution chart, which is just a huge 1-minute chart, which very rarely goes down the time frames. I believe I talked on this in Thursday's PA review when I do, in fact, go down the time frames. I have a huge 15-minute to always keep track of the bigger idea. I want my trades to align here. I have the 5-minute here, and it's only to use regular trading hours gap. So that is my intention. I also have some consolidations there. As I said, got a few indicators I gotta move around and stuff. And then I have ES right here so that I can look at my XMT live. So when I'm executing, SMT is kind of like my go-to confirmation, right? You guys know this. So I have this, and then I have my hourly, which I always switch to the daily. So I put my daily level, and then I keep this on an hourly and look at the whole week to once again keep track of the bigger picture. So this is what I use trading live. I have one chart, one screen with these 5 charts in there. I don't use anything else. I don't want to be looking at anything else. I can't even look at these 5 charts at the same time. So a very concise way, right? Because I'm always doing 20 things at once. I have my bots running on the other screen, so monitoring them is a big thing. And then honestly, I usually have some music. Sometimes I even have a movie or something. It's important for me to remain calm when I trade so that I don't go and overtrade or go crazy, which I have a tendency to do in trading. Just start going all out and forgetting my max amount of trades per day that I'm allowed and just want to, push on, which is a bad thing for me, can be a great thing for other people. So I just usually have some music or a little movie or something that I'm half watching at the same time. And sometimes I'm just coding on the other screen while I'm trading. You gotta fit in your schedule when you can. Definitely. And don't apologize for us. I love having this interaction. I love when people ask questions. It can be about anything. I'm always open to it. Try model only during macro time. See, no, it isn't. You'll see a mill in here which focuses on those macros, so mainly trades macros. I personally do not. I just look to engage between 9:30 and 11:30, and if based on multiple different criteria, pretty much that you guys heard during the price action reviews over time, I also sometimes look to trade between 13:30, so 1:30 p.m., and just before 2:50 p.m. And when it's FOMC, of course, I don't like to trade at all before FOMC. So I'll trade right after. I'll trade that last hour and 15 minutes. Micro, mini, or prop? Those aren't the same category. By prop, do you mean like fake money? Like, for example, demo money? Prop firm. Yeah, but micro, mini, or prop firm. So basically live or prop firm. I have both. They're giving me money to trade profitably, I'll take it. It's more capital that I can trade with. I can just copy trade the whole thing, which I don't. I like to manage my personal account differently than prop firm accounts because the lack of specific rules allows me to do more. But I mean, it's just more money. So in my book, if you're a profitable trader and you're ready to make that investment, you want to scale up, then prop firms are a great thing. And without prop firms, I wouldn't be where I am. I'd probably be worth under 100 grand because I would have had to build up that capital. When now having prop firms, I can be funded for a few $1,000,000, make some 1 to 2% a month, which is just crazy money. And as per micro and minis, it really depends on your risk, but you should always have some room to take profit. So for example, if I want to risk $250, well, sometimes one mini is even more than that. So just trade micros and allow yourself to take profit, to take profits. If I have one contract, I can't take profit. It's my full trade. But if I have 10 minis, then I have a lot of room to play. So definitely recommend 10 micros. I'm sorry, I messed up that last part. But definitely recommend traders use micros until they are at a more sizable risk. I used to only trade minis. I definitely got beat enough to understand that I should be trading micros. And now I'm on micros on all my prop accounts, and I'm only trading minis on my own personal account. If that answers your questions. Gonna let you type. See, the others are just chilling in here, just listening. But it's okay, I like it. I get smashed on minis? Well, yes, exactly. Go on micros, manage your risk, maintain a consistent dynamic risk. That's all I can say. Do we have any other questions more in relation to the outlook specifically? Right? I want to make sure everything is understood. But as you guys know, we're going to come back on Wednesday night and we're going to frame some very specific setups that we'll be able to use after. I did remember that I told someone that I'd be allowing for discount with Rice Statistics. So just in case you're wondering, as soon as I post this, I'm going to drop a little link and a little discount promo code in the description of this weekly outlook. So if you are listening in on YouTube and you made it to the end, well, definitely scroll down. Yeah, well, see, Perez, you would not have had that discount on the 3-month membership. So you're getting a better discount, technically, if you average it out over 3 months. Scam. Wow. I can't believe you would say this. But no, you're right. And no, the discounts are only for monthly memberships. I was going to say memberships, but subscriptions. And yeah, for 3 months and yearly subscription, they are already at a discounted rate. On that note, guys, I'm going to go take a breath before locking in for that open, that I do have some bots now trading the weekly open. So I wish you all the best of nights. Good luck trading if you are trading early on in this week. And if not, we'll see each other on Wednesday. Have a great one, guys. All right. Always a pleasure for us.